Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you... Leslie, do you need to get off the cart? Are you happy up there? That's all right. I'm going to give you a little history lesson about the Rosenblums in Heywood today. They were the original, or actually the second owners of this store. Harris Rosenblum, born in Swalaki, is that right? Suwalki, Poland, travelled from Liverpool on the ship John Lynn, and arrived in Melbourne September 1857, married Phoebe Emden at the synagogue in Burke Street, Melbourne, 29 September 1862. They had 8 children, all born in Heywood. Hyman in 1864, Lewis, Leslie's father, a grandfather in 1866, Cyril Jane, 1868, Michael, 1869, Abraham, 1872, Rosetta, 1877, Jacob Wolfe, 1879. So, no hospitals in Heywood in those days. They did a great job, didn't they? When Harris Rosenblum started operations in Heywood, he sold door to door, on foot, and then by horse and cart. After his marriage in 1862, he purchased the business of Mr. Avery. The earliest advertisement I can find in the Portland Guardian for the Avery store is 1854. Amazing, isn't it? 1854, and the store is still here today. Harris Rosenblum took over from Mr. Avery 27 December 1862. Son Lewis Rosenblum took over full store operation upon his father's death 28 March 1887. Harris Rosenblum died at his Melbourne home called Heywood Villa, Punt Road, South Yarra. He owned the store, 2 sawmills, with some 40 men employed. Left an estate of £20,211 and £11,500 was owed to him in loans and store debt. The weekly wage then was £2 a week. Do your calculations. Lewis Rosenblum sold the store on the 13th of March 1895 to R.H. Moore. I think they called him Dick. I'm not sure on that. R.H. Moore sold to John Best February 1 in 1911. Now, Howard will tell us a little bit, because we're going to share this a bit, because as most Heywood people will know, Howard's family is connected very with the Best. So
Thanks very much, Fred. It's a great pleasure and privilege to be here with you today. John Best, Fred had done his work here and in 1911 purchased the business. I wasn't sure of the year, but John Best was my mother's uncle, a brother to her father. He continued to run the business for some time, and he finally sold it to Norm Dawkins. Now, I'm not too sure where Norm came into the picture in Heywood, and if anybody has any information, I'd be more than happy to listen to it. Norm Dawkins had married John Best's daughter, Annie, who I remember quite well. I remember Norm and Annie quite well. Eventually, my father came back from the war, and Norm and Annie wanted to move on to Portland, and they offered the business to my father, Lindsay Barclay, whom I'm sure a lot of you here remember. Dad had just married Nancy Best, and they ran the store for the next 20 years before Dad sold the business to Alan Donahue. I see a lovely photo of Alan over here. From the time that John Best came in, most people here who have lived in Heywood a long time would remember the store as being Best's Cash Stores. At what point it changed from that, I don't really know. I'm sure that some of you here wouldn't be around long enough to remember. But as a child growing up in Heywood, I can remember, I have wonderful, wonderful memories of this business. I spent hours around the place stacking shelves, and I was just talking with Rex Stewart, who's my cousin, about how everything came in bulk in those days and everything had to be weighed up, and we're having a bit of a laugh. We all enjoyed weighing everything up, except when we got to the dates. I reckon the football looked pretty good when we got to the dates, because if you try and get a scoop into a box of dates, it's not very easy. However, the connection that my family have had with this store, it was quite a long one, and it came from both sides of my family, my mother's family, and my father being involved in it.
Thanks very much, Howard. Of course, over the last years there have been many occupants of this store. I couldn't name them all, and most of them in the recent years, most of you will remember. This may be the oldest operating store on the same site in the district or even Victoria. I'm looking for somebody to shoot me down in flames, but I have got a lot of evidence in a folder in there for you to view, and from research I've done in the old Portland Guardians, and I'm here today to state that this store is 161 years old. And today we have Denise proudly in this store selling similar items that were sold here 161 years ago. Yeah, Denise. Listen, the other thing I must do while I've got the microphone, I've got to thank all the tradesmen who helped me on with this project. We've got Lyndon, where are you? He's hiding somewhere. There he is, over here. Lyndon Oakley is the stonemason who helped me with the restoration of this lovely wall here. It's his handiwork that built this beautiful pointing together and to give us this beautiful effect we've got here today. David Fredericks from Portland Home Improvements did this veranda and the doorways here.
You want to speak to Dean?
Jamie and I've got the other fellas now. No, the Watson brothers did the work inside the store and the painting, and of course Alan Lewis over here, Heywood Plumbing, has attended to all the plumbing works, although we still have a few little problems to sort out, but we'll get there. And Des Gray, of course, supplied all the materials here that we've used in this building. So it's been a community effort and a great project, and I feel very proud of what we've got here in Heywood today, and hope it gives our town a little bit of community pride.
Thanks, Fred, for that. I'm sure we've all learnt a lot and perhaps some memories even brought back as well. So now it's time for Denise. Denise of Heywood Horse and Country.
To Lawrence, thank you. And to Leslie, our guest of honour, thank you for coming all the way down from Sydney to be here with us today. And to everyone who has come along, welcome and thank you. So as far as Heywood Horse and Country, we started back in 2006 in a little building in the back of the arcade. While we're in that building there, I applied to ANZ to see if we could get a day-night ATM in Heywood. And one of the conditions of that was that we had to have a front shop access. So then we decided we would move to the front of the arcade, which was the building beside the fish and chip shop, which was once known as Merritt's Milk Bar. We were there until August, September last year, when we decided it was quite evident that we'd outgrown that existing premises and decided then to move down to here. So that third week of January, with the help of some wonderful friends and family, we moved to here. So this is where we've ended up. As far as we started off with just selling feed and horse gear, but after moving to the front shop in the arcade, we were only there a matter of about 2 or 3 months, and then EI broke out in Australia, which was equine influenza, which was a deadly horse virus that brought the whole horse industry to a grinding halt. So how does a small business in Heywood survive when there's nothing going on with horses? So that was when we decided to branch out and put in our country clothing, such as R.M. Williams, Thomas Cook, Wrangler. So that is why we are Heywood Horse and Country. So we not only just cater for horses, but for the country clothing as well. So just before I finish, I need to thank everyone for coming, all the tradesmen that worked very hard, to some wonderful friends and families that worked tirelessly to move us and set us up in this new building, because we certainly won't be moving again. It was such a mammoth job. So Freddie, you're stuck with us. So yeah, here we are, and thank you. And last but least, I really need to say a big thank you to Mark Davies from ANZ. He worked tirelessly to have the ATM from the old shop moved to this shop, and without his hard work, that certainly wouldn't have happened. So that I'm very grateful for, and we thank him very much for that. So I'll now hand back to Fred, who will then go on with the unveiling of the sign. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Denise, and it's wonderful to have such a good tenant in a building. I'm sure our relationship will be fine. Just one little thing of history that I forgot to tell you that I had cut here from a article in the Portland Guardian. And this is where I found the information of when John Best took over from R.H. Moore & Co. I'm going to read you this little advertisement from the Portland Observer, which was in the Observer on Thursday, June the 1st, 1911. J. Best, late manager for R.H. Moore & Co., begs to announce that he has purchased the above business, which is Fitzroy Stores, Heywood, and hopes by strict attention to the same to merit a long continuance of the patronage so long accorded to the old store. So they're referring to this building as the old store in 1911. I desire to notify to customers and the public generally that I have disposed of, this is R.H. Moore, I should say. I desire to notify to customers and the public generally that I have disposed of the business carried on by me under the name of R.H. Moore & Co. to Mr. John Best, for whom I solicit a continuance and increase in patronage accorded to R.H. Moore & Co. for so long. Persons indebted to R.H. Moore & Co. will kindly settle their liabilities with Mr. Best, who is authorised to collect outstanding accounts and whose receipt will be sufficient to discharge. I'll pass that around for your attention. Now, I've also got to thank Bob and Norma up there for bringing Leslie down in the horse. They've got her here safely. And the next part of the proceedings will ask Leslie and her daughter Jenny to come forward, and they will unveil the rose and bloom sign on the building. It's a bit of Freddie's old rough ingenuity. With the help of Alan Lewis, we've got some sort of a rigmarole up there that we hope will work. We're not the greatest unveiling people in the world, but I'll hand back to our MC and I'll assist these ladies with the yes.
Just wait till I get back there so I can see it come down.
Yeah, our cameraman needs to get back a little, so we'll give him a little time. It'll take.
Jenny is going to reply on behalf of Leslie and the family.
The unveiling and opening of this store, and we were very excited to have been able to make the trip, so I really appreciate Fred contacting Mum, and it's been a privilege to come down here for this opening. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. That brings to a conclusion this exciting event in Heywood social calendar. On behalf of Fred and Denise, thank you all for coming, and there are refreshments available, so please avail yourself of those, and thank you all once again.